What's the most badass thing your daughter has ever done? I was at work when my daughter's teacher called me. Your daughter split her classmate's head open. She was throwing rocks at him. I went numb, not knowing what to say. I told her I'd be there immediately and started driving. Angry at her, but also at myself for clearly raising her to think this way. But when I got to the principal's office, my daughter was sitting there, hands dirty, blood on her uniform, staring straight ahead. Miss Yit, her teacher, was practically vibrating with rage. She attacked Veronica during recess. Multiple witnesses saw her throwing rocks. This is assault. The principal showed me photos. Veronica had a gash on her forehead, blood in her hair. We're suspending Dilly immediately and considering expulsion. This level of violence is unprecedented. I looked at my daughter. She wasn't crying, wasn't apologizing, just sitting there with her jaw set. Dilly, what happened? I did it, she said calmly. I threw the rocks. Miss Yit smirked. At least she's honest about her violence. She's suspended for 3 days, effective immediately. That night, Dilly barely touched her dinner. We need to talk about this, I said. She just shook her head. Dilly, you threw rocks at another student. You could have seriously hurt her. This isn't like you at all. Help me understand. You wouldn't believe me anyway, she muttered. Try me. Nobody believes kids like me when we tell the truth about kids like Veronica. While sitting beside me, she opened her phone and showed me texts she was getting from classmates. You're so mean. I'm gonna throw rocks at you next. Group chats were lighting up with rumors, but there was something off about the whole thing. Alongside every cruel or threatening message from the girls in her class, there were other ones, kinder ones. Thank you. You're brave. We love you. Every single one from boys in her grade. Dilly, why are all the boys? You wouldn't understand, she said, putting her phone away. Nobody ever does. Over the next 2 days, I tried everything. Gentle questions during breakfast, firm conversations after dinner. I even called some of the boys' parents, but they just said their sons were going through something and hung up quickly. Dilly, whatever happened with Veronica, we can work through it together. Like how Miss Yit worked through it when I told her. She snapped, then went silent again. By the third night, I was desperate. Her brother had gotten into 2 fights defending her. Parents were calling for her expulsion. I found her in her room, staring at her phone with tears in her eyes. Sweetheart, I can't help you if you don't talk to me. She looked up at me, exhausted. Dad, do you really want to know? Because once I tell you, you can't pretend it's not happening anymore. I held her hand and promised that I would never ignore her problems. She looked at me with exhausted eyes. Dad, Veronica's been cornering the 2nd grade boys in the equipment shed. She makes them pull their pants down, takes pictures, tells them she'll show everyone if they tell. I felt sick. Did you tell someone? I told Miss Yit 3 times. She said little boys make up stories about girls for attention. I told the principal. He said Veronica's a model student and I was jealous. I showed them Max crying, Luke with bruises from trying to get away. Nobody listened because girls don't do that. How long? 2 months. Yesterday I saw her dragging Ben's little brother behind the shed. He's only 6, Dad. 6. He was crying so hard he couldn't breathe. Her voice cracked. I yelled at her to stop. She laughed and said no one would believe me. So I picked up rocks. She showed me her phone. Screenshots of desperate messages from younger kids' older siblings begging someone to help. Reports filed and dismissed. Even a video of Veronica grabbing a boy. But it was deemed unclear by administration. I tried everything else first, Dilly whispered. Everything. I went nuclear. When the police interviewed the younger boys without Miss Yit present, 5 of them broke down and confirmed everything. They found photos on Veronica's phone. Miss Yit was fired immediately. Criminal charges were filed against Veronica. Good riddance. Or so I thought. 3 weeks later, my Dilly came home with tear-stained eyes and a puffy face. I tried to comfort her, but her little arms shoved me away. You promised! You promised to help! You said you would! I blinked back the tears and tried to focus on solving the problem. Honey, what? She's back! Veronica is back! My blood boiled. Turns out Veronica's dad had donated $17,000 to the school, and now she was back and more indestructible than ever. Or so she thought. Full story on channel, link below.